Gratitude Power Hour with Shelby.
You know those people that just show up and just raw dog life?
Makes me want a hot dog real bad.
And Jason.
Bro, I'm raw dogging life.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
A sobriety and mental health podcast that dives into the realm of overcoming substance abuse through the power of willingness, humility, and gratitude. Together, we can thrive and also have a little fun while we're at it. Now, here are your hosts, Shelby and Jason.
Welcome
Welcome.
to Gratitude Power Hour. Coming to you live, live because we're in person
We're in
together,
person.
not live to you because this requires editing. But we are coming to you semi-live from my brand new home studio.
Yes.
And we are currently standing while recording, and
We're standing.
I feel like I'm
You're not going to know what we're doing. I'm doing calisthenics right now.
I feel like I'm going to have more juice. I'm going to be able to be more Italian and move
You're going to be able to stretch.
move stuff, move my arms around. But most of the stuff is the same. We definitely had some delays in releasing episodes, which is specifically on my end. There have been some kind of technical difficulties with the equipment and the wiring and things like that, and then trying to navigate the quality of the sound when Shelby is not in the studio with me, and soon she will be further away. So we're basically going to figure that out for the most part, I think, today.
Yeah, we're ironing out the kinks.
Friends, I was always a little bit of an audiophile. If you don't know what that means, it just means that someone who takes an interest in like audio engineering, audio sound, microphones, production, things along those lines. But I've really upped it to geek level just because as I've been going through trying to figure out what's troubleshooting, basically trying to figure out what's going on, I will actually be able to make a sobriety parallel about this. I learned a ton about like room acoustics and, the difference in cables and what microphones are good and bad for various rooms and, how you can fix things without having to spend a crazy amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, when I bought the new standing desk, which is a DIY project, so that's also a parallel here that I'll be able to tie this all together, I promise. But once I did that, I was able to literally disassemble everything. I mean, everything to where it was wires were in one spot, everything's in one spot. And then I re-put it together the way I wanted it originally, but was limited because when you're you've got a desk in like a corner, you're in a small room, you can't just move the desk all over the place. So I was under it trying to do stuff. And we've had some good sound output on the show,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I think now it sounds a lot cleaner. It sounds a lot better. One big thing I noticed through this entire process is my normal instinct generally would be to get immediately frustrated physically, it's physically noticeable,
Mm-hmm.
and make it into something bigger than it is and, kind of obsess a little about it, but never seem to make any progress because my obsession is very distorted. So I'm trying to figure it out in anger and irritation instead of literally just taking multiple steps back and being what could this be? And then I just started ruling out what it couldn't be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that works. Cool. Check. Okay, those two
Process
things work
of
together.
elimination.
Exactly. So, that's exactly how I handled sobriety. Like I said in support group the other night, and I don't think this is the right word, and actually someone in there not corrected me, but was kind of gave me positive feedback, good
Mm-hmm.
enforcement. But I said it was kind of a luxury, because I couldn't think of a better word. Maybe we can come up with something now.
Mm-hmm.
That I was able to, I don't have anything that was anyone that was being affected by my going away for 28 days. So I was able to close out the outside world. I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. I was in contact with my family who's been supportive from the beginning, but they were also not putting unnecessary pressure on me for things that I could not control while I'm in rehab.
Right.
And then that's how I've literally built my life back to what it is right now. I'm approaching 7 months of sobriety, obviously it hasn't been easy, but I mean, like, it was a less difficult path due to the fact that I really did start from scratch
Yeah.
and do things slowly as I felt comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been applying that like with the desk. Super frustrating. You know how these instructions can be. Plus it's DIY. So like I bought the frame separate, then I bought the wood tabletop instead of whatever the hell they put on tabletops, that isn't wood.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. This is actually like I think it's called acacia wood. It's from Africa.
Oh.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Nice. Oh, and I'm doing a podcast. No. You're welcome. But yeah, no, I would just kind of stop for a second if I started to get frustrated, sit back and just process.
Right.
Okay. What did I
That's
do
good.
up to this point? Okay. So what could it not be? And once you eliminate those things, then it kind of the answer is a little bit more not obvious, but attainable.
Yeah. And how did that feel like with your brain being able to do that?
I brought this up on Thursday night in support group. It's awesome.
It's so much more satisfying
It's
and
awesome.
gratifying. Yeah.
But you don't, and let me know if you agree with this. I personally think that when you don't notice when it's happening in the moment,
Mhm.
it's better in the long
It's
run.
way better, yeah. Especially, and not looking for praise or anything, but like when somebody in your life notices it and brings it up to you right away, and then that like spirals into like noticing how you've been handling things. Like that's how it's been for me personally. My husband has noticed a lot of it. Like I used to fall asleep a lot when we were watching shows or movies, and now I'm like picking up stuff that he doesn't even pick up.
Yeah.
And like I always had this view that like he is more intelligent than me, and obviously because his brain is not doused in THC and alcohol.
That's fair.
It's fair. But now like it's a confidence, making me more comfortable, and just like picking out shit out of a show that I normally wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like it like that's just with everything.
Well, we've covered this a lot, but it allows you at a minimum to be present.
Yes.
Just to be
that's
present,
it.
like present in what's going on right now. I'm not going to say that like we don't still kind of jump ahead a bit, but when I do it now, it's more like strategic versus
Yes.
worry.
Yes.
Like worry, like you're, what's it, like future predicting or whatever, where you're,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because I feel like it's ridiculous if you like take time to reflect, like after everything you do.
Agree.
How would you even finish a thought if you're
You
just kind of
wouldn't,
like, okay,
no.
how did I handle that? How
No.
did that go? Okay. Instead it's like at the end of a week, and usually it'll be in therapy, I think, is because then you're kind of summing up your week,
Mm-hmm.
what's happened the last week. And then as you're saying these things out loud, you come to that realization.
Yes.
You know what? Damn, I know that would have normally spun me out.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have taken days.
Yeah.
Days. This audio thing has taken me close to a month, but the desk thing I would have put it off, or I
Yeah.
would have gotten so mad I probably would have screwed it up,
Yeah.
So,
And like even just the way you were talking about it at the beginning, and like when I first got here, like you're looking at it with such like a positive, optimistic outlook. Like you've told me all of the shit that you've learned and showing me everything you have. Like it seems like it's been more like it turned into like, yeah, it was a frustrating thing, but now it's been like paying dividends because
Yeah.
you're learning so many different things and getting excited about it. So
well, I think, just with sobriety and with some time sober, not just
right.
like
It has to be
your
time.
early sobriety, you've still got very muddled thoughts just
Mhm.
because your brain is kind of trying to get out of, it's drowning. It's
Yeah.
trying to like get above water
Mhm.
first. Then it starts to make
Mhm.
progress. But yeah, like I have more of a passion for learning. And I even notice, at work, I took by design, I took a low stress job that is more physical. So I'm not sitting at a desk, like resenting that I'm there.
Yeah.
But
And working with your hands and
but like whenever the owners come in, I'm not like, hey, this happened. And, it's not like Debbie Downer.
Mhm.
It's more like, hey, I had a thought. I don't know if this has been talked about before. but like I thought maybe if we did it this way, it might be more efficient. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah.
actually, and maybe they say no. Maybe they're like, we get what you're saying, whatever. They listen to you and they're not blowing you off. But like I feel much more. I've always been intuitive. That's like even in full use.
Yeah.
Very like I can see things, and people, that, and this was a problem for relationships. It's not like I was like, I know what you're gonna do in a month, but it was more like you see patterns
Mm-hmm.
and you remember those patterns. And then as it's happening, you just kind of take note, and then you're like, I see where this is going. I see where this is leading.
Yeah, and that's a strength
Yeah.
in some cases, but I'm sure
it
that
feels
actually
like
played a role in
it
your
did.
use.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did.
Yeah.
It definitely did
Mhm.
because then your go-to is like we talked about this in support group too. Like, oh, you know what, man? I'm gonna drink at that problem. I'm gonna drink at that.
Yep.
I'm gonna drink at you. It seems so ridiculous, but it's so accurate.
It is.
Or smoke,
It
or
is.
both,
Yep.
drink and smoke,
Yep.
whatever. It's kind of like it's 100% for you. It's 100% you trying to just feel something different, but you're in your head. You think
Mhm.
you're like spiting this
Mhm.
person because
It takes the responsibility
because
off
you're
you.
drunk by yourself.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I know, and this is not us like being down on it because for real, it's like
Hey, it
it's
serves a
it's
purpose.
ridiculous. It does.
really
It
does.
does, and it's unfortunate, when it's got its claws
Mhm.
in your brain. Even if someone suggests an activity or an exercise or a skill or whatever that would be helpful in the moment, or if you're starting to see a bad thing coming on the horizon, the disease doesn't allow you to think it's a good idea.
Right.
And that sucks.
It does suck.
But my point about the intuitive part is now I've become a little bit more, so I'm still intuitive, but I've become a lot more deductive.
Okay.
So I can put things together, but it's more like I'm not looking at situations and putting it together. I mean more like situations with like a relationship, a
Yeah.
friendship,
Yeah.
family, but like I just see more and then I
Yeah.
decide what to do with it
Yeah.
instead of being confrontational or irritable or whatever. And I'm not going to say that doesn't happen. It's going to happen because you
Yeah,
know
that's
what?
being a human being.
Sober or not, you're allowed
Yeah.
to be irritated. It's just how you respond.
It's necessary. Yeah.
I mean, like I told Shelby, I can't remember when it was at this point, but like I had a little bit of an outburst because,
Oh yeah, a couple weeks ago.
because I feel like the fact that everything in my life, and we've covered this a lot, but that everything in my life for the most part, minus work, is recovery based. But the place that I'm working is as a result of my wanting to be able to focus on school, but also not be stressed out
Mhm.
constantly because work's where you spend most of your time.
Yeah.
But like all I do is share. Like all I do is share and talk about what's going on. And so like if I get out of a full therapy session and it's like, well, how'd that go? What did you talk about? My answers are going to be really short because I don't
Same.
want to talk about it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Not because I don't want to talk about it ever, but I don't want to talk about it immediately.
Yep.
Like because whatever I say is not going to be the best version.
Yeah, and like some stuff can just be for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I get asked that a lot, like, how was therapy today? And I'll just say good because it normally is good.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, anything else? And it's like, no. Like, and I'm not doing that to be a dick or
No.
like pushing it off, but it's just like I just talked for an hour about stuff. Like I need time to process.
Right.
And like if there's something that I feel like talking about, I will let you know.
Right.
But it's just like, yeah, there is, and that can be difficult because like withholding or isolating and not talking about things. But it's like if I'm talking to other people in all of these areas, like just because I'm not dishing it to you right now
Right.
doesn't make it a problem. I just don't feel like telling you the depths of my soul right now.
And unfortunately, at that point, I don't know that you're able to give the best depiction of what just happened because it's not like you're sitting in therapy for an hour saying it, getting feedback, and processing it all at the same time.
No.
So
like,
you need some time to like, okay, here's what we went into. Here's what you said I should work on. Like, okay, but I said this. Like, what is that? What could that mean? really, if you're doing therapy, you've got to really be all in on it, and you've got to use what you learn from session to session. You
Yeah.
got to do a little bit of work, and I'm not saying you need to sit down and write stuff out. I just mean you really need to come out and take what she said, not in an offensive way. It's always going to be constructive,
Yeah.
depending on your therapist, but for the most part, that's the goal. And then just kind of be like, okay. And then when you notice that over that next week, try to apply what you talked about, or at least take note of how you responded to a certain situation, and then bring it into therapy.
Yeah.
So like instant regurgitation it's just not good.
No.
And yeah, I mean, it's going to come off hostile, unfortunately, because it's like, I just did this for an
Yeah.
hour. I don't want to go into it. And then you're irritated. And then that version's going to be like, well, we talked about this. And they're going to be like, okay, so it sounds like you got no help
Yeah.
because you didn't sell it.
It's like,
or
that's why
spin it.
therapy is called a process.
Right.
Process.
Yeah. And, but I mean, it's not so bad, coming out of meetings.
Yeah.
You know, I do
I'm
actually, I am very protective of it though. Like,
Yeah.
the rules.
Absolutely.
Um,
Anonymous.
But I will say my takeaway, if I in the car on the way home, if it was something like that, I walk out the door, I go sit in my dad's car, and it's like still in my head, like, man, okay, that was a really good story. Like I never thought of it that way. Then I'll say it pretty much right then and there. I'll say, man, that was a good meeting. This is somebody was talking about this, and I'm like, I had not thought about it that way, and it made me. I think I'm going to think of that specific situation in a different way moving forward.
Yeah.
Like, that's instant
Right.
because you hear it, you feel it.
And you saying it right then
Mhm.
is processing
Right.
and tucking it away. Yeah.
I mean, because that's a sharing environment where you're not necessarily like giving people constructive feedback. You can.
And it's not just about you.
I have. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I've just been like, hey, or, I'll double dip if I'd already gone and just be like, hey, I'm Jason. I'm an alcoholic. Thank you for that share. And I just want to let you know that I am literally experiencing that right now. And I was wondering if it was just me. So if you want to talk about it, I would love to kind of hear how you handled it or how you didn't handle it or how we can handle it moving forward, And then I get pumped up and then I tell whoever.
I get pumped.
Yeah. Like I haven't done it so much lately because the meetings haven't been they're always great. Like I still love going. Like I
Good.
always feel better after. But I haven't been to one of those meetings in a while where you're like, yes,
Yeah.
yes, all helpful, all good. I'm not stopping anytime soon. Probably I couldn't give an end date because I don't plan on having one.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, but that's different. Therapy is your head spinning when you leave.
Yeah, definitely.
And I can't tell you what just happened.
Yeah.
Because I need to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's a really no, actually, it's not a long story. It was just the story
It flowed.
of how I've been applying kind of my template for sobriety to other situations.
And it's working.
But not thinking that's what I'm doing. When I reflect on it, I'm like, man, okay. And then so that the guy that runs support group on Thursdays is like, and how do you feel about that? And I'm like, yeah, it's fucking great. Honestly, it's fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he's like, you should be really proud of yourself. I was like, well, let's slow down there, because there's all of us in that room constantly are saying like, we can't, for whatever reason, certain people are wired where you don't take compliments. You're not offended by them.
You just have
You don't believe them.
Receiving them. Actually receiving them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't spend a lot of time talking about how great I am. It was more like, no, I mean, it's just, I just kept repeating and like digging in a little bit further as to like what I was noticing and then just saying, it's just great. It's just great. That's all I can say about it. It's great.
I'm happy for you. Yeah.
Yeah. So for those of you out there, like seriously, getting sober and learning these skills on how to maintain sobriety as well as just becoming a better person and being able to navigate life situations in a healthier way. This really, really will be, you'll find parallels with other life situations that you can apply all of this to without even knowing you're doing it.
Yeah.
That's the cool stuff.
Yeah.
When this stuff is it's applicable
Yeah.
everywhere.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So I don't even know if I checked in. So with all that being said,
Check in.
well, my mood is great. My mood is probably like a 99 right now because you're here
Yeah.
and I like the way the studio turned out and we both sound good and some equipment came today that I was waiting for from the Amazon. I'm not asking you to be a sponsor because we're fighting. Um, no, but no, man, it's a day off. Like Sunday's my only day where I don't have to do anything. So this is exactly what I want to be doing right now. So, and then what is it?
Willingness.
Willingness, yeah. There's some things that I don't want to do. But they're not like things I'm just gonna, I've been putting some stuff off and it's like I just said to you before we started recording, if the sun were out, I'd be outside, but it's a little gloomy. So I'm going to just tackle while I have the day to not be in school or work.
Yeah.
And my parents are at the lake. So like I can leave the door open and not hear whatever insanity is going on upstairs.
Light your candle.
Yeah.
Just chill.
Yeah. I've got to find a new candle spot.
A new candle spot, yeah.
That doesn't mess up my fine African wood. It's probably a movie.
Emotions.
I'd say proud. I don't say that often.
Good.
Proud and what is it? I'm tired but optimistic.
Tired but hopeful.
Yeah. I'm angry and hopeful. What? Where you're like zoning out and then you just
Okay. Well, pop off,
I don't
dude.
think they understand the exercise. Let's see, proud and I think as much as I'm holding it together, I am emotional.
No,
I'm not going into it right now. I'm emotional because, you're moving. So it's like mixed emotions.
Yeah. It's getting real, dude.
Yeah, mixed emotions. Like I couldn't be more excited for you. For real. Like this is something that you've talked about since I've known you.
Yeah.
And the fact that you've gotten to a point in life that this works, this makes sense, and you and your husband are able to reward yourself.
Yeah.
And the cats.
The cats.
I don't know how many you have. 4?
We have 4.
I can't even go to your house.
Godspeed.
You have to be in a
hazmat
suit with like a Benadryl inhaler. Like I won't know I'm there. Yeah, but obviously sad. Yeah, mixed emotions. But dealing with and after you check in, we can talk about what our conversation was last night.
Yeah.
Because I liked what you said, and I didn't even think that was coming either.
Yeah.
So when you said that, I'm like, oh, it was like a polite dagger.
Yep. That's me. That's me.
If that's a thing. Yeah. So little sad, but proud of myself. I don't know. Just saying that out loud feels big because I never say I'm proud
you
of
don't.
myself.
You don't. You should be.
Yeah. But I'm not as down on myself anymore. I don't know. Sometimes you just get that weird. I feel like this is kind of an innate thing, but where, when there are certain things that we as like functioning members of society are supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're not necessarily supposed to do it. I mean, follow the law, pay your taxes, like things that are like kind of standard.
Mm-hmm.
But like, so I think I, for some reason, have this weird thing in my head where I'm like, okay, I'm getting praise for something that I'm supposed to be doing that I wasn't doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like convoluted a bit,
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like, thanks,
Thanks.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's my check-in. So
good.
Go for it.
All right. My mood rating, we're in the 90s. Definitely. 96. I've been just kind of like I'll get to it, but yeah, happy to be here. It's always great in person. Willingness, we might be in high 80s. I haven't been wanting to do things, and we just did part of our first trek of the move last weekend. We brought some stuff out, so kind of out of my routine and normal stuff. So that always throws me off, especially when I get back. And
Yeah, you got to experience the beauty of driving through Nebraska.
yeah, I don't ever need to see Nebraska again, but
you will.
I will.
You will a lot.
A lot. So that's thrilling. And yeah, emotions are I'm overwhelmed, definitely. But I'm excited and sad. I've been avoiding the real emotions of moving and leaving your, nest you've been in for 32 years and the people and, just the comfortability of being here. And it's scary to let all that go and start something new. But I will say that being there last weekend and just being in the house and putting our stuff away, it felt like home. It really did. So that was really refreshing and kind of helped with some of that fear. But yeah, now just being half in one place and half in our place here, that's really, it's been very difficult for me. Just not feeling settled. And that's my foundation. I'm a homebody. And now that I don't really have that, it's I'm just in this waiting period. It's been really challenging. I've been having more thoughts. Last night I was sitting on the couch after packing some stuff and I went to my sister's house for a birthday party and yeah, just getting home. That used to be a very relief. I'm home now after socializing and then just getting there and everything's in disarray and knowing that this is no longer going to be my home. It just that relief wasn't there. So I'm on the couch and it's those thoughts of what would it feel like to be using right now?
And then you're getting emotional texts from me.
Yes. I mean that was actually nice.
There weren't many.
It was nice, but yeah, so I've been having more of those thoughts of just we've talked about play the tape forward a million times on this podcast, but I always have the play the tape forward for oh, what would it feel like to be high right now? Imagining that and then it immediately goes to no. So it's a natural progression of those thoughts will pop up, but immediately the reality takes over of okay, in reality that would not be great, blah, all of that. But those thoughts weren't really there. I would say the last few months, but now they've been popping up more and more. So along with being, balancing moving and work and family and all these things, now I have these thoughts popping up. So it's just been I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed as fuck. But it's going to end. It's very temporary, and I'm excited. I'm excited for it. But yeah, I guess that's my check-in.
Yeah. I mean, just moving, period. I know we've talked about this a few times, but it's it sucks. Moving sucks, right? So, and not even factoring in the emotional part of it, just the logistics part of it. It sucks. Moving out of state sucks even more.
It does.
And then, like you said, if you don't kind of complete a move in one day, which obviously, interstate move or inner city move or moving a couple of miles, that's one thing. Multiple trips is kind of the template for that. But
right.
But yeah, the fact that you've moved half your stuff and you've got half your stuff, I completely get why you're you don't feel whole.
Yes. And as someone in recovery, you need to feel whole because it's risky. It's risky, but I'm very aware of that. And I'm aware that these thoughts are coming up. This is the first time I've talked about it though. So that's kind of a red flag that I haven't brought it up in therapy or anything.
Yeah.
So acknowledging that now, accountability here.
Accountability, buddy.
Yeah. I have no plans to use it all, but thoughts are there.
Nor do I. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also very proud of myself in the last, few months of getting prepped for this move. I feel like if I were in any other position a couple years ago, it would have been a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
I've just been very present and involved, like usually in stressful situations, I isolate and like just push things off, and I
Get away,
can't do
get
that.
away,
I can't,
I gotta get away.
I can't just put all this on my husband, and I normally would. And so, he's acknowledged that, and I've been a teammate, and he's been great, and we've been great. And normally, like, it is a very stressful situation, and that would normally cause, some rifts between us, but we've been solid. And it is a direct result of me being sober.
Right.
And all the work that I've done. So I'm very proud of that. And that's just like for every situation in your life being sober. Like it makes everything a little bit easier. So
Yeah. And obviously I don't see you like all day, every day, because that would probably be a problem for like 3 people. Hey, Will, you guys got any snacks?
Can I come over?
Can I? No. What are you doing? I'm making a sandwich. Is that
Is that
weird?
cool?
Yeah. Do you guys have any gluten free? It's be that fucking guy. I was in the pantry and I noticed everything has gluten.
Yeah. You were not prepared
Why
for
are
me.
you here? I can tell, like, you've been a rock star during this, because just like you could be out somewhere or you can be at a meeting or whatever. And obviously, if you're in a meeting, like, some people might be new on the fence. They might have drank the day before.
Mhm.
They might have drank that day. Like,
Yeah.
I've experienced that during this
Mhm.
past week. And the guy, like, I like I said, I don't break protocol a lot, but like this is something that I was like, okay, like, and I hadn't seen it yet. So in what, 7 months of going to, almost 7 months of going to meetings, I get the sober app.
Yeah.
I got like a notification from it saying like, congratulations, you met your bicentennial, and I'm like,
What the fuck?
what? And I looked at it and it's like 200 days, and I'm like, but
Oh.
I was like, now I feel like we're just looking for reasons to celebrate. Like,
We don't much, okay?
ooh,
Sweet. Bicentennial. Woo!
200. I wish I had $200.
Yeah.
But I'll take 200 days as a variety. But yeah, like so, he came in and I was sitting at a table and he sat at like the end of the long table, and it just wafted over me.
Ooh.
It was like the first time I like
Ooh.
smelled like
Yep.
strong booze.
Yep.
And I don't know, it didn't really, this is so weird, right? Like generally when you smell like stale booze,
Mm-hmm.
even when you're drinking all the time, you're kind of like,
It's gross. It's
yeah,
gross.
it smells like old towny
Yeah.
bar,
Yeah.
like just that bad smell.
Yeah.
And it just kind of came over me, and I'm like, my first instinct was I was looking around to see if anybody else noticed, but they were a little bit, everybody was kind of spread out.
Mm-hmm.
And he started to tell his story. He's like, I really needed this meeting today. And he was definitely slurring his words and said like, I drank yesterday and I had like 2 seltzers, and I'm close enough to him that like he's drunk right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's hard.
But why lie?
Yeah.
Like I drank today instead of coming up, I mean, but see,
It's like if you had 2 seltzers, like that's not enough to
But you
like
do-
come out of your pores.
yeah, you gain a comfort with being able to share anything and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's made attempts to get into the program a few times. So I think he still thinks that there's like potential judgment going on in there.
Totally.
Which I've not
There's not.
run into one iota of that at all.
And I'm
It
sure
is
you didn't judge him
all
being drunk
support.
right there.
No, my heart,
Like you're here.
my heart broke.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I actually like it sunk. Like it
Yeah.
sunk. I could feel it. And I'm just like, because all you want to do is like, you just want to give the guy a goddamn
Right.
hug, man.
Like,
To be
it's
like,
okay.
man, not, I'm so sorry. None of that
No.
shit, but just like, hey, well, I'm in there, man.
Yeah. We're here for you.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
Be honest.
I mean,
tell us whatever.
He came.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah. And
that's-
everyone made a point to praise.
yeah. Like
the-
you showed up.
Generally, it was kind of like, man, you had a lot of balls to come in here.
Mhm.
And but unfortunately, and I'm never in my head in those. I'm always so present.
Yeah.
But I was in my head a bit because I'm like, dude,
Totally. That threw you off a little
drinking
bit.
right now. It did.
Yeah.
It threw me off. But I was the only one who could who was
Smell
close enough
it,
to
yeah.
smell it.
Yeah.
But everybody was talking to him after, and I didn't notice anyone kind of giving him the side eye. And I'm like, all right, well,
All right.
He's definitely drunk.
Yeah.
Or not like hammered, but he's had more than 2 seltzers today. So that was a little odd, but it's just every time, man, every meeting you get overwhelmed by like the empathy and the support.
There's nothing like it.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since someone brought up that I think that term radical empathy, like it is like constantly going through my head and my body. It's just like, it's weird.
amazing.
Like, it's almost like, what's a good way to put it? All right, let's say you're holding like a TV remote or something where you can fast forward or rewind or pause. It's almost like something happens. Let's say I'm at work, because generally like interactions that I have are with people at meetings, family, support groups, whatever. So there's no, not even confrontation, but there's no like snarky, like customer being kind of an ass kind of situation.
Yeah.
So instead of like, because I don't have like a poker face, I just don't.
No,
So if somebody like irritates me, like I can power through it, but after a while, like it's going to be apparent. But now, like I almost have like a pause button. It's very fast, but it's a pause button where it's kind of like, because I'm never going to scream at somebody at work. Like I'm not going to have some kind of an outburst, but my attitude's going to change.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to put out that vibe, and all that's going to do is have them put out that vibe.
Right.
And then
Return the vibes.
it's a toxic situation.
Yeah, it is.
So, but it's my brain just pauses and is kind of like, my default thought isn't this person sucks at life. They're clearly a use of oxygen. This person sucks. They're they're a dick. They're a bitch. Why? I hope I don't ever have to deal with this asshole again kind of stuff. It's more like, what has happened to this person before they walk into this door?
Yep.
Today, this week, this month, in life.
What are they going through?
Just for a second. Now, if they keep pushing the issue, I'm going to get tense. Still not going to let it be word vomit. But see, like, because I know somebody asked me, like, when are you the most, like, frustrated and angry? And I said driving, like road rage. Like, road rage is the worst physical and mental thing for me. It's horrible. But I don't drive, so it's not an issue currently. But, like, when it's happening and I'm, like, in my dad's car or whoever's giving me a ride, I can feel it. I can feel it. Like,
muscle memory.
I can feel it right now talking about it from my feet, like, coming through my body. Just like, but even then, okay, this person just cut me off. What if they got a kid in the car who's hurt? That may not be the case, but it's like this little thing you just kind of throw into that pool of potential anger. Like, I don't know. Just like
what if their mother didn't love them as a child?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
You know what? Go to therapy. Okay.
Don't cut people off in traffic. Go to therapy.
I'm cutting you some slack now, but if this becomes a pattern, we're going to have a conversation.
Yeah. You need Jesus.
Yeah. Jason's pause button's going to be broken that day. Oh, man. So let's see. We've got
tell about
20
the dagger I hit you with last night.
Yeah. All right. So I said, I don't know how, it might have been episode one or two.
Yeah, it was early on.
Where we were talking about one of my things is like abandonment issues, and I think the earliest sign of that for me was when my ex-wife, even though we agreed that we shouldn't be married, we just we changed, so there was no bad things. It was just like we didn't think that being married like made sense. Like we were friends, but the timing was horrific because we kind of made that decision in January of 2020. And then she moved back to Madison where she's from. And then I was in our apartment when COVID hit and then was there all throughout COVID. So I felt like, and obviously when you're married to someone, that is your person. And so that was kind of taken. And I built this like significant thing about like abandonment. And then for whatever reason, like any relationship or potential relationship I've had since then, if I sense that that person is like thinking about leaving, I just destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
So I can have some sense of control, even though the outcome is still the same.
The same. Yep.
I'm the person who ended it. Unfortunately, it's usually in like the fuck is this guy doing?
A very unproductive way.
Yeah, it's unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
But I was clear in my sentence structure.
You were. I was just fucking with you.
I know. But I said to Shelby last night, because we were setting up a time that we were gonna record today, and I said like, all right, it's starting to hit me that you're moving. And I just said, like, yeah, we can FaceTime or text or fire up a podcast anytime, but it's not like we'll be in the
It's
same
not
room.
the same, yeah.
And I said, I'm gonna miss you when you go, but I said it's kind of like bringing up like my abandonment vibes a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but not because I know you're not. You're literally not leaving me.
Yeah.
I think I said, obviously this is not that.
Yes, it's not that, but the
But
vibes
it's
are there.
bringing up the vibes because you're not my only person, but you're one of my people.
Yeah.
And through doing this, our friendship outside of this show, which I would think is extremely apparent to anyone who listens.
Yeah.
Or especially anyone who sees us.
Mm-hmm.
I get asked a lot, like, are you guys dating? Or, ooh, is there I'm like, no, she's married and I kind of view her as a relative.
Yeah.
So, no.
No.
I can answer that
Is false.
a few different ways. There is no romance. At this point, I find it that would be weird.
That would be very weird.
Strange. And I don't think Will would like it, and I don't blame him. Yeah. And I'm also not a homewrecker, so problem solved.
Facts.
Yep. But yeah, like I brought that up, and her response was, just don't, what is it, rip it down or whatever. What did she say?
Yeah, I was like, don't do that thing where you try and fuck it all up before.
Yeah.
And
And I told her,
I was like, I'm not going anywhere.
I said that's the last fucking thing I'm gonna do. But yeah.
Had to call you out.
Yeah. No, I know.
Don't do it. Don't fucking do it.
I won't. I said that I actually like,
because I'll know.
As you said it, as I was thinking about it, I'm like, how would I mean, there is some twisted logic to what I've done before because I know what's happening. And I feel like if I rip the Band-Aid off, it's going to be less painful. And you know what? There is some truth to it.
It's fair. Yeah.
But unfortunately, you automatically like are angry at that person like forever unless you work through it.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to step 9. Can't
Super exciting.
Can't wait to make amends.
Woo.
I mean, there might be some people who just, I'm air quoting, miss being on the list. No, I'll do it all. I'll do it all. I'm just going to approach it as I hear people like getting hung up on doing step 4 because, you're doing like a moral inventory and people are like having to dig. And I find that to be weird.
Yeah.
Because if this is not something you think about, why the hell are you bringing it back up?
Yeah. Agreed.
Why? If you don't think about it,
it's gone.
I think you've letting it go.
Yeah, I think it's gone. Huh.
So, but, I'll work with my sponsor. Whatever he says, I'll do. I just, I'm not going to be someone who's not asking questions. Not to say not to get out of something, but I need to understand the why.
Totally. Yeah.
Just give me the why.
That makes it stick.
Yeah.
Don't just check a box to check a box.
Right. Which is how this entire.
Yeah.
Yes, guys. It's, obviously being an anonymous podcast, there's not going to be a video option. But I might share a photo of
yes, you should.
The swap meet in my bedroom. We're going to call it the audiophile geek swap meet on a comforter.
Yes. He has every single piece of audio equipment technology that he owns.
We've got microphones, boom arms, mic stands, windscreens, pop filters,
headphones,
shock mounts, cables, audio interfaces, microphone cover
Looks
bags.
Like a fucking Best Buy in here.
It does, except Best Buy doesn't sell any of this stuff because it's good. This is good stuff. Sorry, Best Buy. They're not sponsoring
They're not
us either.
sponsors.
Yeah. Amazon and I are fighting, and Best Buy doesn't sell. I
Yep.
mean, it's Best Buy. They're not supposed to sell like high-end podcast equipment. Just not how
Maybe they're
how it
missing out.
rolls. Yeah. Oh, fun fact, because I feel like unless you really want to, I have no problem getting raw on you leaving. But as a sidebar, so we're trying to figure out Shelby's setup in Colorado, audio wise. Obviously, I'm not trying to. I'm actually designing.
He's
their
designing
home.
our home.
When I move all this stuff out of the way, underneath the blanket, there is like a blueprint that I put together, and color photos of all of your furnishings. I picked out your linens.
Great.
Yeah. Well, you know what? What do you think of this shower head? Actually, there are some things that I could recommend to you that would be game changers in your life.
I can't wait.
Shower head being one of them. Shower head is key. I bring it with me everywhere I move. I take out whatever's there.
Us too.
But so there's equipment here that let's see, for the most part, started accumulating in like 2010, 2011, right on the cusp of the start of 2011. And then there's some stuff that I've had since high school. I was in broadcasting in high school. I ran the radio station. I would and when I say DJ parties, yeah, not the guy like spinning records and that shit, like
the MC.
Yeah, basically just playing good music that people wanted to hear and making stupid jokes, like messing with people while they're dancing, whatever, hitting on girls generally.
Yeah, generally.
So I did show her a microphone that I still have that I bought in high school. That one she will not be using.
No,
because it won't work with a computer. But yeah, we're going to get her the ultimate setup so it sounds good. We can record more frequently.
Yeah.
And it'll be easier to edit, do production, and get it out there.
Cool.
So yeah. And a final part of that discussion is I bought an inexpensive microphone because it has a part that I need, and I'm going to do a DIY build on a mic that she's going to take home today. So she's going to have
all trades.
She's going to have a microphone that is it's from 3 different manufacturers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And we'll test it before you leave, so you're not walking out of here with a giant paperweight that doesn't do anything. But yeah, I don't know, because based on when you're moving,
a week from Thursday.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to do another in person.
I'll make sure we can.
Okay.
I'm not prepared to have this be the last one.
Okay. Then we'll get raw. I don't feel like crying today.
No,
my eyes are itchy.
I can't handle it.
Yeah. I think you almost did like earlier.
I know.
And then like I started
Like,
to.
shut
So
the fuck up,
I
Jason,
changed
shut
it.
the fuck up.
But you didn't give me that look. You didn't give me the I'll cut you look.
I will kill you.
I'll cut you.
Next time.
I'll cut you a bit. But yeah, so something I wanted to say to everybody out there listening. I apologize for the significant delay in episode releases. I know that we had said that they're going to come out every Tuesday, but there's some really good content that we've recorded, but because of the audio issues, it's been very difficult to piece them together to something that won't drive you nuts when you're trying to listen to. And I want them all to come out. We've got a few that are good to go, so all I needed to do is clean up and upload them, but I would prefer to put them in chronological order because they all lead to something else. If we end on a thought, we start with that thought kind of thing. So I'm doing my best to get that out. So clearly with the amount of episodes we have in the can, you'll be hearing this.
Probably when I'm already there.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm going to work really hard to get that done for you.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, and if you could, we would really appreciate not only your feedback on the show, if you can email us at gratitudepowerhour@gmail.com. But, I've been finding myself in situations, and I'll let Shelby jump in on this too when I finish my thought, but who are, I think, in need of some kind of program. Some kind of external help. And I can see on them what I now see in myself, that they're scared. They don't know what to do, but they're also in a point where you're very stubborn. And the last thing you want is for someone to offer you a solution, which, yeah, seems crazy to say, but it is so real that they could give you the best advice you've ever received and you will not receive it the way it should be and blow it off. I'm telling you right now, I know it's hard. I know. Trust me. We both know. Just listen. Just reach out. You don't have to go to some crazy extreme and jump into a program and do all this stuff, but take one step in that direction.
Yeah.
Go to a meeting. Start talking to a therapist. Talk to someone you trust. Just say, I think there's something wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something wrong. Because you know what? Odds are people who love you the most have wanted to say that to you for a very long time, but they know that it could fracture your relationship if they say, hey, I think you might have a problem. I've been there. Every single person that has come to a meeting that has shared has been there. Fuck you. I don't need help. You need help. Like, that's the kind of vibe that I can feel coming off of people. I get it. I'm just telling you, this is the first time I've said I'm proud of myself in as long as I can remember, and it feels good. I know if you're listening to this, you might be at a point in your sobriety that you're starting to feel good. You might be just starting off and wondering if this is for me. You know what? I'm telling you, it's worth it.
It's so worth it.
It's worth it. So if you got anything, feedback, questions, if you want to, depending on where you live, like I will do everything I can to find resources for you in your area. Whatever, just to get you a little bit of a head start. Just email us, gratitudepowerhour@gmail.com, and let us know what's going on. If you don't want us to do anything or say anything, we won't.
No.
Just reach out. We'll respond via email. This is an anonymous show. We're not calling anybody out. We're probably going to have guests coming up, and I've already told some people that I know this isn't going to be something you're promoting on social media or anything like that. This is literally, and you don't even have to say your real name. You can come on and we're just going to talk. And you're just going to tell your story or share what you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And I think that's not who the person is, what they have to say, and you being able to see someone coming into a room. This isn't exactly a pressure cooker in here, but it's also something that most people aren't comfortable with, coming and sitting in front of a microphone and having to open their heart up.
Yeah.
This is generally the best part of my week because it's therapy with someone I love to death.
Yeah.
I can't say that about my actual therapist because she might stop seeing me. Yeah. Except we don't have an outside therapy relationship. But yeah, I'm telling you, if you're already in recovery, awesome.
Keep going.
You know what? But if you're running into any hiccups, speed bumps,
that's very normal.
Very normal. Email us.
Well, let's talk about it.
We can address it on the mic, or we can just have a little back and forth on email.
We can talk on the phone.
We can talk on the phone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anything.
I mean, I've done the global AA, whenever I can't get to an in-person meeting where I can't do it time-wise between school and work, I do the global Zoom. It's so cool. It's the 319 meeting. If someone says, like, I'm drunk, I don't know what to do, literally you start seeing, if it's a male or female, you'll see like both male and female saying words of encouragement. But like you'll see the females, if it's a female, hey, DM me, or if she's not DMing anybody, hey, here's my phone.
Call me.
You just see numbers. I've had people are like, hey man, like, I loved what you had to say. And I've talked to them. I don't care. Like, it's not like they're stalking me. It's literally, it's
support.
helpful. Because in that moment, because it's 24 hours. I'll jump on there at midnight if I can't sleep. 1, 2, I've been on there 2, 3 in the morning. On like New Year's Eve, I was on there for like 6 hours. Talked to a bunch of people on the phone. Whatever you need, it's there. Whatever you need, it's there somewhere and at all times of the day.
Yeah. So we can point you in the right direction.
But if you're scared or nervous to like go to a professional, talk to a couple people in recovery.
Yep.
We'll do the best we can to kind of maybe keep you off the ledge.
Yeah.
not the end your life ledge, but the ledge of, should I take the jump and do this? Or should I keep doing what I'm doing? Walk away, back up from the ledge, you know? This is one of those points where jumping off is a good one because you're jumping into something good.
So much more.
I was going to give you an opportunity to share, and then I talked a lot. I apologize. So any thoughts on that?
No, you, yes, the way you put it was phenomenal. I couldn't have said it better.
Okay.
That's why he's doing this for a living, y'all.
I don't think so. I'm doing this for a living. Oh, I thought you meant like podcasting. It was like
support. He's going to be a peer recovery sports specialist, guys.
That's what I'm receiving any funds for this. And if I am, are you taking it? Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. No. And like I mentioned to Shelby last night, like she's not just a beloved friend, she's a teammate. And anyone who knows me like she does, or who's in our group of people, and I have a few of these groups that are like people that I've been in programs with, whether it's inpatient or outpatient, know that team is very important to me because I don't use this statement like, hey, you're on my team. It's more like the second we have a connection and I feel the need to be protective of you in your recovery or in your whatever, not taking on your problems and causing more problems for myself, but I've got your back. So
yes, I know you do.
Like team is very, very important to me. So when I say that to someone, I hope they view it as a compliment because I view it as something higher than being a friend.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of friends. And of course I'll have their back, but it's different when when you have a friend in recovery because you're in it.
Yeah.
You're in it with someone. They've seen your worst. You know, I don't think I've seen your worst, but I don't feel like I know you've not included any details about what you used to do and how much different it is now. So, guys, I mean, just if you listen to us talk, you just understand like how proud we are of each other, how proud and supportive and protective of anyone I come across in recovery, and even people that I haven't come across yet. If I get into a meeting and someone looks uncomfortable and someone says some comment and, I don't get up and have an outburst, but I'll pull them aside. I'll say something like, hey, I don't know if that guy's going to come back. You might want to catch up with him. Something, Protect your people. Protect your people. So
maybe that should be the title.
Of which thing? The episode?
Yes.
Protect your people?
Protect your people.
All right. I'll do it. I'll do it. They'll have to get all the way to
all the way to the end. No, protect your peeps.
To protect. I'm not putting peeps.
Not to be confused with the Easter candy.
Yeah. Yes. I'll change the thumbnail of the show to a peep. Hey, you know what? There are some peeps upstairs. I don't know who the hell eats them, but they're up there. Yeah. I don't know if that's actual food.
Yeah, it's a marshmallow.
Is it? No. So is the yellow just sugar crystals?
Yeah, just sugar crystals. Yeah.
Ugh.
It's gross.
It's a hard pass. All right. With that being said, we've now alienated Amazon, Best Buy, and the makers of Peeps for being potential sponsors, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Let's ride.
Actually, no, I'm a little bummed out. I do like Best Buy. I do use them in emergency situations these days, but their sole purpose is not to have high-end audio equipment.
Yeah.
It's just, that's not their thing. It's like standard stuff.
Yeah.
I like to buy the Rolls Royce. No, it's not even true. Yeah. Like I've spent some coin on a few pieces, but like for the most part, if you look around, like a lot of things in here cost $14 or less.
That's what I'm talking about. Balling on a budget.
Yeah, man. So, all right. That being said, as always, we appreciate you guys.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you. You're going to become like a bigger friend to me when Shelby moves. I'm going to be like leaning on our podcast audience. Be like, will someone talk to me?
Somebody?
No, I know you'll talk to me.
Obviously,
but it's not the same as this.
No.
And I'm not going to lie. I feel way more comfortable and energetic in a standing desk.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what's going on. I had too much caffeine because I keep moving around. But yeah, no, it's good. This plastic carpet protector is not ideal, and somehow it's moved. I don't know what I'm doing, but it's moved a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
Okay.
email us at
GratitudePowerHour@gmail.com.
That's it. And find us on Twitter at GratitudePowerHR. We're going to, I don't know. We're going to do some cool stuff on Twitter X, whatever the hell it is. I think it's Twitter.
Yeah.
I have some ideas for some, what I'm calling, or actually it's not my term, but snackable content.
Cool.
Meaning finding little bits of our show. And if something's relevant or something's going on in the world, being able to just post like that 30-second segment.
Cool.
So look for that in the future. I'm not getting over ambitious. Yes, I will do the episodes first. I promise.
Yeah.
I'm not doing things before the episodes are even out, but just some things are coming. Okay.
All right.
That being said, everybody, have yourself a good indeterminate amount of time. I can know. Have yourself a good week. You know what? We'll start with weeks, right?
Yeah.
We're recording on a Sunday, so we've got a fresh week ahead, and we're Shelby and I will probably record. I think she's doing the pee-pee dance.
I got to pee so bad.
Yeah, it's the pee-pee dance. So, okay. She has to pee. She's Shelby. I'm Jason. I don't have to pee. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.